Good early afternoon. We're live. I'm Andy Andrews, and you have joined us on the Blue Plate Special. We're here at Wisdom Harbor Studios in Orange Beach, Alabama. Beautiful Orange Beach at the Wharf, home of the legendary escalator statues. So when you come visit us, you need to take your picture on the escalator statues and send your postcards around and get other people to come visit us. Hey, if you're new to us, we got a great show today. If you're new to us, and if you're on Facebook, click that notification button and then turn your notifications on your phone. That way, when we go live, anytime we go live here, you will be notified. Also, if you would share, just share to your page. Sharing is caring. We won't embarrass you. Share to your page. Again, we got a great show for you. We'd like to say hi to the YouTube people and click that subscription button. That's the red one, if you don't mind. And to the LinkedIn people, loosen your tie. We know you're taking your lunch time here. And so loosen your tie, take your jacket off. And the Twitterverse, we're glad that you're here too. Matova Sharif, we're grateful for you. Marcy Crossley Taylor, it's cold in Pasco, Washington. Don't have a white Christmas yet. Well, you will. Judith DeWitt, good morning. And Nancy Hazel Brown, you got wisdomharbor.com for your family for Christmas. Hadn't told them yet. All right, well, great. I'm so excited. If you haven't checked it out, go to wisdomharbor.com. That's wisdom, HARBOUR.com. Christy, my sister, hello, shared. Christy brought me peppermint mist today. A peppermint candle, peppermint,
Yum.
Air spray. And I sprayed it in the air, and I went, it was like, it did smell good, but so did the inside of my nose for about 30 minutes. Kim Petrucki, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Glad you were with us. Chris Comer out in Arkansas, good morning. Is it good morning there? No, that's afternoon. Marcy Crossley Taylor, you like my shirt? Now this is my Christmas version, okay? This is not from Sand Dollar Lifestyles, even though they are a continual sponsor of the show. Today, I'm wearing one from the Andy Andrews collection. This is Christmas shirts I've collected over the years. Heather Olson, it's snowing in Salt Lake. Good for you. That is awesome. So enjoy that for a day and then deal with it. Tammy Nance, Shauna Warcry Martin. Is Warcry really your middle name? Is Warcry really your middle name? I mean, if it is, I think it's an awesome middle name. Barbara Benjamin from Eaton Rapids. Eaton Rapids in Michigan. Eaton Rapids they're more average rapids, aren't they? They're not grand rapids like you also have up there. Mike Schrager, good to see you, buddy. Kim Hewitt from Florida. All right, listen, we're going to get started. I have a guest today, and I am very excited. I have known this guy for a while, and he's one of these kind of friends that you feel that you drop his name and you feel good about being his friend because everybody here knows who he is. Mike from Nashville. I bet people in Nashville know who this guy is. And I want to just give you a little background, and then I'll formally introduce him. But he went to work years ago with the Department of Forensic Science as a medical examiner in Alabama, and then became a forensic investigator, and then became the chief forensic investigator. He ran for sheriff in 2006, and I don't know if he's run unopposed ever since then, but it sure seems like it. He's been awarded the Paul Harris Award by Rotary International. the Service Above Self, and the Rotarian of the Year award. And this is just a great guy. Now, Polly would tell me, you're overselling, okay? But you can't oversell. Do you guys see Longmire? Do you watch Longmire? Okay, this is Longmire, all right? This is our sheriff, Hoss Mack. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. Good to be here.
Man, I am thrilled. When I told people, I said, hey, you know who's coming in today? I said, Hoss Mack. Really? Really? Like, he's going to be in the studio? I said, yeah, he's going to be there. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
And you have been the sheriff of Baldwin County since God was a boy, it seems like, to me. I mean, you ran in 2006,
right.
and you know, I told little M out there before you came, I said, this guy is listed. I saw the news thing last year. You were listed as the 4th most influential person in the state. And I mean, you got the governor and the lieutenant governor, and then here's you, the Baldwin County sheriff. But the thing that I thought it was curious that they said in that listing, they said anybody who gets an endorsement from Hoss Mack, I mean, it's just like gold. And that's just because of your character, your honesty, and how you've run your office forever. So how did you get into law enforcement?
Well, actually, I kind of came into law enforcement in 1982. I was trying to think about what I was going to do with my life, and I'd actually been a youth minister at one of our local churches.
Really?
And I was actually involved in that. And on June the 6th, 1982, my grandfather was murdered in Escambia County, Alabama. He had what you would consider, I always equated it to the Walton Country Store. It was in McCullough, Alabama, and a general store, and a guy came in and robbed him, stabbed him in the chest, and murdered him. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office at that time was very, very small and had very little expertise in that particular type of crime, so they reached out to the sheriff of Baldwin County at the time, who was Sheriff Buck Benton. And so Sheriff Benton had sent some people up there to help investigate the crime. We went to trial. Ultimately, the individual was convicted, of course. But through that process, I kind of noticed something. I said, this is something I might want to do. And so I'd grown up around what I call the death industry all my life. My family had owned and built a funeral home in Robertsdale in 1965, and it kind of had a little segue into that. So from that, I actually went to work for the Department of Forensic Science, the very department that investigated my grandfather's murder.
Wow. And so now it's hard to, there are people that are watching this, like in Australia, I noticed, in other countries, but all over America, and it's hard to express to them who they have a local sheriff, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but it's hard to express to somebody from another part of the country how big a deal you are around here. I mean, it is. I mean, you're a celebrity. You are sought after as a speaker. You are sought after as somebody to be on their board of directors, and so I just, for one thing, it is a big county.
Yes,
I mean, Baldwin County is bigger than the state of Rhode Island.
Right.
And so, how do you see this county?
Well, this county, when I got in law enforcement in 1985, there were 68,000 people in Baldwin County. Today, we're over 240,000. And Baldwin County is rich in history, but it's very, very diverse. And one of the unique things about the Office of Sheriff, there's 3,087 of us in the United States, is that sheriffs are the people's choice for law enforcement, because it's the only law enforcement position that you actually get to vote for. You get to elect your sheriff. You don't elect the police chief. Even the director of the FBI is appointed, not elected. So in Baldwin County, it's very unique because Baldwin County is really kind of 4 regions in and of its own. Of course, here we have the beach region, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, very much tourist-driven, transient population.
Yeah, and you mentioned 240,000 citizens in Baldwin County, and there's more visitors than that in
That's
the
right.
beach area on a weekend in the summer.
That's correct. Our population easily doubles and sometimes even triples during that time. And so, being the sheriff of Baldwin County is a little bit diverse in our different areas. We still have an agricultural area. We have a very high retail industry in Baldwin County now. We're starting to get involved in industry in Baldwin County now. And so, we're not just the suburb to Mobile and Pensacola. We are the deal.
Right.
And so, we have a lot going on in Baldwin County.
So you got the beach, you got the agricultural area, and then you got the Eastern Shore.
That's correct.
That's all the Fairhope and
And then, of course, North Baldwin.
North Baldwin. That's Dukes of Hazzard.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And I always tell people North Baldwin County is still a lot of what Baldwin County was as I remember when I was a child.
Wow. So what would you look at right now and think, what is your biggest, I guess aggravation might be the word. If you could wave a magic wand and solve one problem in this county, what problem would you solve? I mean, what would you choose?
You know, we're just like any other industry in Baldwin County. We deal with growth in everything that we do. I tell people, some of my sheriff friends across the nation, I've always said, I wish I could have 1 year that we just maintain status quo. Ever since I've been sheriff, we've never had status quo. And we're constantly growing and dealing with those growth issues. And it's because we're involved in all aspects. And it's not just about law enforcement. It's about all the other things that the sheriff's office does, the community support that we do, the events that we do, and everything. So that's our biggest challenge right now. And I'm glad that we have that challenge because we don't have the crime rate here that a lot of other places that are very close to us are experiencing right now. In fact, we're actually way below the national average in several different areas. But once again, we try to lasso that growth thing and deal with growth every day in what we do.
Right. Are you staffed as big as you want to be, or?
We have the number of approved positions. We're experiencing a little bit still what some of our neighbors are all around the nation. There's a fewer people that are applying to go to work in law enforcement right now. A lot of that, I think, had to do with the national conversation over the past few years that we've had. But nonetheless, we're still the desired area. Our community is very supportive of law enforcement. But we still have to deal with some of those issues from a recruiting perspective. Right. I think a lot of times once the young men and women that are coming to work in law enforcement, once they get in it, particularly in our area, they see it and they go, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is where I need to be. And we've just got some wonderful men and women that are coming into law enforcement right now. But it is a challenge to recruit new people to come in.
Now, when I was up with you guys, this is, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago, I was meeting people. I just normally in conversation say to somebody, hey, where are you from? You know? And especially living in a beach town because nobody's from here.
Right.
And so, but I was meeting people in your office that were from all over America. I mean, so you have people coming in from everywhere here.
We do, and I think this area is a great recruitment tool. Want
to live at the beach.
They want to go to the beach, and we just hired a young lady from Kansas City that's coming to work here in our crime lab. And but I've hired deputies from I hired a father and son deputy duo team from Sacramento, California that came to work with us. So we're hiring from all over, and the beach is a big draw. This county is a big draw for a lot of people that want to come here and live.
Wow. Yeah, I can see it. I see it. And you're very involved. I always look at somebody like you or any so-called celebrity. Like, people apply that definition to me, and I'm like, you need to keep looking for a celebrity. Right. But I know what they're talking about. People who are recognizable and people who their name is recognizable. And I always look and I say, what are you doing with that? You've been given something. You've been given an influence. And so what are you doing with that? And I have always been very proud of how you use that influence because you're very visible in this area with charitable organizations and with Rotary and the sheriff's ranch, the Boys and Girls Ranch. And so how's that going now? What's happening right now with the ranch?
So our ranch is located in Summerdale up on County Road 32, and it's a boys ranch. We currently have a dozen boys up there, age 7 up to 18.
And how do you get in?
So most of our kids are voluntary placement, and I will give, typically they come from what I call a tragic or challenging situation. Most of our kids are coming from broken homes. They're usually having some issues. They're not juvenile delinquents. They're just kids that have had a hard knock at life, and they need help. The parents need help in raising them. So they bring the kids to us. We take them in. It's a voluntary, and they live on the ranch. So they actually live in ranch houses with the parents. And we give them a normal, supportive lifestyle. So what we do, they're in the public school feeder pattern. They attend church. They raise cattle. We teach them life skills on the ranch. We teach them agricultural issues, how to take care of yourself, how to be a provider for your family as a young man and as a man when you leave our ranch. We take care of 100% of their expenses, their health insurance. It costs the parents nothing to place a child with us. Due to the lack of foster homes in Baldwin County, we've recently had to take some temporary placements through foster care while these kids are working to go to their permanent home. So it's really worked out well. It's a beautiful place on County Road 32. We promote strong Christian values at the ranch.
Obviously
strong
there's no
work
federal
ethic.
funding.
That's correct. No, we're totally independent. We're a private organization. The ranch system in Alabama was started by the sheriffs back in the 1960s. And it literally came, there was a sheriff that was in middle Alabama that's riding down the road one day, and there's a kid walking on the side of the road. And he stopped and he said, "Sir, why are you stopping me?" And he said, "Well, son, I just want to check, why are you walking on the side of the road?" He said, "I have no home. I have nowhere to go." He said, "My parents left me. They had abandoned this child." And so the sheriff was left with a quandary. What do I do with this kid? Where can I take this kid? So he took him home. And he took him home, and from that was the idea that sparked, we need a place to take abandoned children in the state of Alabama. Henceforth, the Alabama Sheriff's Boys and Girls Youth Ranch System was born.
Wow. Now you related a story to me. I just asked, when you came in an hour or so ago, we were just catching up, and I said, "What you been doing?" And you told me you related a story about taking the boys to Academy Sports. Would you tell that story again?
Sure. So
this just amazed me.
in Alabama, everybody knows the game wardens and the Marine Police. So there's an association called the Alabama Conservation Officers Association, which is kind of a fraternal organization of these groups. They approached us a few weeks ago, statewide. We have 3 ranches in the state. They said, we want to do something for those kids. So what we want to do is we want to take them shopping. Much you've heard about Shop with a Cop.
Right.
So they came to us. So last night, these conservation officers, a dozen of them, met us at Academy Sports in Foley. And each child got a $200 voucher to go through the store and get anything they wanted for Christmas. So the kids arrived. It was all anticipated. We were looking forward to a good time. And so they brought them up in the van. They all walk into the academy. And particularly about 3 of the kids just stood there. And you could tell they kind of had that awe look about them.
Because you had a ready, set, go kind of thing.
We did. We did like the Guy Fieri. We had the carts there and everything. Right. We're going to click, and they're getting ready to go shopping. And I walked up and I talked to our director, Mike Smith, our executive director out of Montgomery. And I said, "Mike," I said, "is there an issue?" He said, I just talked to him. He said, "They've never been in here before." They totally, and I said, what's here? What is here? And we said, "Well, anything that you want." And they had never been in a big store like that where they had the opportunity to just go and take thing off a shelf and purchase it. And so it took us a little while because they kind of had to warm up and go through that. But every child last night from our ranch walked out of there with $200 worth of merchandise. Most of them got clothing. There was a few little toys and sports items and all. And
really? Most of them got clothes?
Yeah, they've got a huge Alabama-Auburn section there, and they were big into that. And I watched them. They got that, and even some of them went and got some of the fishing poles. There was a couple of those getting out, rollerblades, things of that nature. So they had a big time last night, and they're going to have a good Christmas because of that.
I just got to say, and I'm including me in this with you guys, I think most of our kids could probably go in Academy Sports and spend $200 in 5 minutes, or pick out what they wanted to top that figure. And Kim Petrucci said, "This man is amazing," and all I can say
She
is,
must have been talking about you.
no, she's talking about you, and all I can say is, "I told you so." That is awesome. How can we help, or people in Alabama? What do we do? Can we post something?
Sure, we have Facebook pages. The Baldwin County Sheriff's Boys Ranch is on Facebook. Our Alabama Ranch System out of Montgomery is on Facebook, and they've got a website and different things like that. I always encourage people, like this weekend, for instance. This weekend at our Boys Ranch in Summerdale, we have a yard sale. Folks, this is a yard sale that is like something that you would see on TV. They take the entire gymnasium. There's thousands of items that are there. Well, a lot of our corporate sponsors, and Bass Pro has always been a great sponsor, Academy Sports has been. So sometimes they have items that they've pulled off the shelf. They're slightly damaged. Maybe they discontinued something. They donate that to ranch so that we can sell it at our yard sale. And that helps us support the ranch because, once again, we take care of our children there 100%. There is no expense to the family, no expense to them. So that's medical care, that's school supplies, that's clothing, food, everything there. So just come by and support our ranch there. It'll be this Saturday, Friday and Saturday at the Boys Ranch on County Road 32 in Summerdale. And but that's just one way that you can help support our ranch system.
All right. Hey, Matt, could you just post or you or Little M or whoever post in the comments, or put a post of where to connect with that? That'd be great.
Sure.
So
Thank you.
You and I usually we text pictures of hunting spots, and I got to ask you something that I didn't ask you when